my math lab number 2 wants you to determine who's more deserving of getting an additional car. You're going to use the apportionment criterion to figure this out. So you got two transit city systems, the red line and the blue line. It's like subways or something. And the red line currently has 10 cars, and I'm actually going to use a red pen for this. Okay, so the red line has 10 cars and averages 420 passengers per run. And then the blue line has 8 cars and averages 217 passengers per run. Solve parts A through C to determine which line is more deserving. All right, so A says, determine the relative unfairness of the apportionment if the additional car, let's see, I guess I'll use green for this. If the additional car is given to the red line. Okay, so right now the red line has 420 passengers, right? Divided by their current number of cars is 10, but we want to give them an additional one. Now remember, this would be their average constituency. You take the number of passengers and divide it by, and in this case, that'd be 11. And it says round, oh, sorry, I'm about to sneeze. It says round answer to 3 decimal places as needed, but then it says round all intermediate values to 4 places as needed. Okay, so when I take the 420 and divide it by 11, that's not my relative unfairness. This is my average constituency. So this needs to be rounded to 4 places, and that's going to be 38.1818. So that's the average constituency of the red. And now calculate the average constituency of the blue. The blue has 217 passengers per run, and they currently have 8 cars. So when I divide that, this one actually comes out to be exactly 27.125. So I need to figure out the relative unfairness at this point, and I'll just use a purple on that. The relative unfairness is going to be, you have to subtract these two numbers. So I'm going to take the 38.1818 minus the 27.125, and then you're going to divide that by the smaller number, which is the 27.125. And that is going to give me a relative unfairness. And then this is the one where it says round your answer to 3 decimal places. So this is going to be 0.408. That's what they asked me to do. Determine the relative unfairness. So 0.408, that is part A. Then it asks us on part B, determine the relative unfairness if the additional car, and the additional car I showed in green, if the additional car is now given to the blue line. Now the average constituency of the red one is, remember they had 420 passengers with 10 cars, that's exactly 42. And then figure out the average constituency of the blue line, which is 217, and they currently have 8 cars, but we're going to add 1 to them. How's that going to change if we add it to them? So that's really 217 divided by 9, And this one you take out, again, round all intermediate values to 4 decimal places. So this will be 24.111. And again, we're trying to figure out the relative unfairness. That's the RU, relative unfairness. And so you take the larger number, which is the 42, minus the smaller number, which is the 24.11111, and divide it by the smaller number. And then this is where you round it to 3 decimal places, because this will be your final answer. And here you get 0.742. So it says use the apportionment criterion to decide which group deserves the additional car. When we did the red line, the relative unfairness was 0.408. When we did the blue line, that's what we just got. It was 0.742. Whichever one is less unfair, and 0.48 is less than the 0.742, so it should go to the red line using the apportionment criterion. And that is number 2.